Morning. So, as you probably got the gist of the title, this is a video for people that have issues with slightly wider feet, maybe bunions on the feet, maybe having Morton's Neuroma, which is the inflammation of that nerve underneath the metatarsals. I guess I've struggled with this for years and years and years, and I've tried millions of different trainers. So in my many years of buying trainers and trying and experimenting, I've come up with, I suppose, the top 3 or 4, in my opinion, that works best for my feet, and I think will works best for anyone who do suffer from, as I said, the Morton's Neuromas or the bunions, or just wider feet. Now, I basically discovered the first type of shoe that I discovered, which offered a foot-shaped shoe, was the Altra, for instance, and this is their original. This is the original Altra Escalante. And this is about 2 or 3 years old now. Very wide foot shape design, plenty of width up here as well, but so yeah, and also very stretchy. So this shoe was, as soon as I found this one, I thought, wow, it's amazing. I've now got a shoe that's wide, my feet are happy, my toes can splay around, and I can just, very comfortable. But the problem was this is a 0 drop shoe, which means there's no difference between the heel and the toe. Therefore, although that's probably more beneficial for your hips and knees and joints because there's less pressure going forward, that does put a lot of stress on your Achilles and your calf and basically the back of your legs, the back of your lower legs. And I had tweaked a few muscles in my calf, my gastrocnemius, in my soleus, and stretched the Achilles, especially my left side, loads. So what I did find was another company called Topo Athletic. This is one of their sort of kind of weightier trail shoes. Again, it offers that foot-shaped design, wider up front, but it plays around with the drop a little bit more. So this one here is, I think this is a 3 mil drop. So that means 3 mils there, 0 there. Therefore, it's a good transitioning shoe. Going to a 0 drop shoe, the Topo Athletic with the wide foot base, the width and everything. And has that sort of 5 to 3 to 0 drop. So Topo was good, but I never really got on with Topo that well because I found the cushioning for me just a little bit too flat, and I wasn't really that happy with it. I've always been a fan of Hoka. I've had my first Hoka about 5 years ago, but they were initially way too narrow. So I have been using Hokas in wide, which actually I've had a lot of success with. Plenty of width, but again, they still have that tapering up front. The toes do taper, so it just restricts your toes slightly, but not much. This shoe here, this is the Speedgoat 4 in wide. This has been a brilliant shoe for me. I've really, really loved this shoe to pieces. I didn't get on with this one. This is Corny Peregrine, not in wide. I couldn't really get on with that one there. This is the New Balance, actually, again in wide, but this is a road shoe. I didn't really get to grips with this one here. I just found it a bit clunky, a bit heavy. I wasn't really that pleased with the overall feel of that one there. Let me just have a look at it here. But actually, surprisingly, with Nike, so this is the Nike Wildhorse 6. In fact, I've done my longest run to date in the Wildhorse 5, which is about just over 100 kilometers around the Isle of Wight. And I didn't have any issues with that one here, and I didn't really hit the width on the Wildhorse is quite good. So the Nike Trail line, if you do have wide feet and you're a big fan of Nike, the Terra Kyga and the Wildhorse 6, they kind of work actually. I recommend those two. I definitely recommend Hoka Oni Oni in the wide, obviously. I know that's obviously quite true, a bit of a truism, but the width is good on the wide ones here. The Hoka Torrent, nope, can't do it. Again, not enough width here. It's going to put more stress, with the overlays in here, so that restricts the movement of the foot, and just with then, which I got, which was the Mortons Neuromas, from wearing shoes too narrow. I got it's the pinching of the nerve inside, and it's that swelling. It feels like there's a pebble underneath in your feet, in your foot, up at the front of your foot here, and that hurts quite a lot. But it went once I started going into the wider shoe, and also once I started stop trying to be such a front foot striker. That's the other issue as well. As soon as I read Born to Run or whatever, and all these books, I thought the best way to run would be to run front foot because I thought maybe I was heel striking. So again, all that stress right on the front of your foot is just going to cause a lot of inflammation, a lot of stress. Couple that with a narrow shoe, and you've got a recipe for disaster. Try and land flat-footed as possible, and let your so as a tripod. So the heel and the front all lands almost together, and then you use that natural recoil of your foot, the elastic energy within the foot and all the tendons to bounce back up again. So not on your heel, not really on the front, but again, this is all relative to each individual. But as a general rule of thumb, I would say that's probably one of the best ways to land, and make sure that your foot is underneath your body as you're turning, so not to overreach. So even if you do heel strike, it's not the end of the world. Millions of people out there do heel strike, and they are brilliant runners. But I would advise not to heel strike with your foot reaching out in front of you. So going back to the recommendations for people with wide feet, people with bunions, people with Mortons and Neuromas, I would definitely go for Altra, but that is a zero drop shoe, so that takes time to transition. The other option is you can look into Topo Athletic, the width. They have different variations of 0 drops to 3 mil to 5 mil. Or obviously find a shoe that offers wide. New Balance and a lot of other shoes, Saucony, they do shoes in wide, but even in their wide ones, there is that tapering up front, which does restrict the toes. And that's the problem. Because if you look at, let's say, here, what is this? Is this Altra's? So if you look at Altra's sort of their whole premise behind what they believe in, is you can see up front here, there's that space for the toes to move, for that toes to have space in between. Therefore, you get much better control. And then if you see actually over here, it promotes a much more sort of upright, but that's to do with the zero drop, a much more upright strike. That's it. I would recommend in Nike, Terrakyga 6, nice width up front. Topo Athletic, if you want to transition to the zero drop. Once you've transitioned to zero drop, Altras. Altra, this is another Escalante here. It's a road shoe. This is their Escalante 1.5. Yeah, this one feels good. And this Ego midsole, by the way, on the Escalante, which I've not even reviewed ever, is brilliant. Awesome, brilliant. That's really fast, bouncy, springy, super comfortable. Whereas if you go into their more built-up road shoes, the Paragon, this one here has too much stability for me. There's this guide rail, just a bit too built up, extremely comfortable, but nah, not really for me. But as you've seen all the other reviews I've done with the other one, and my old favourite, the Lone Peak here. This is about 2 or 3 years old now, or 2 years old. I've done hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of miles in this one here. Still holding it quite well. And again, you can just see that nice, big, open toe box, foot-shaped shoe. But again, I can't stress enough, don't rush into jumping into zero drop shoes too soon, because it does put more stress on your Achilles and calves and that part of your legs. So that's it. People with wide feet, people with bunions, people with Mortons Neuromas, or people that just want a lot of space up front. Altra, Topo Athletic, a couple of other ones that I've showed you with the Nike Terrakyga in wide. The width up front there isn't too bad. And the Hoka Trail Line, the Speedgoat 4s in wide, and also the Bondi. There's a road shoe. I've got that in wide, and that seems a bit wide in the Clifton. But I've obviously got far too many shoes in here, so I need to have it sort out, although I won't throw them away though. Yep, I think the wife thinks I have a bit of a problem now with the shoes. Anyway, that's that. Just want to discuss that briefly, or probably not so briefly, but I hope that helps, because it really helped me when I've suddenly found almost that golden slipper, that ideal Goldilocks shoe, which I'm kind of always will be still searching for, but yeah, right, that's it.